Perfect.
And we are live on Facebook. I'm so glad that the network is, I was
Good.
just letting the Facebook load. The network was a big issue till yesterday. I was a little
Yeah, because
worried
of the
about it. But
rains.
yes, but today network looks okay. And yes, and all right. Okay, so we are live and we have reached our 57th mom. Good evening from different parts of the world. I know it's evening time, and a lot of you come up here from there. And good morning for this part of the world. We've reached 57th mom, and I have a beautiful, beautiful mom here who is just very, very beautiful in many, many ways. And whatever I've heard of her, I'm going to be exploring her today and with her conversation. Welcome, Mrs. Masarrat. This is a pleasure to have you here, and I would like you to introduce yourself because I always say the mother who lives her story tells her story the best. And Francis is here, Therese is here from everywhere. Thanks, Therese, for joining in. Francis, I'm so happy you're here. Masrat, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Shikha. Thank you, the team, for interviewing me as one of the moms. After very, very long time, somebody's interviewing me as a mom and not a co-founder of Sundarji's Global Academia and CEO of Suyog Sundarji Group of Institute. I think somewhere along the line, when I spoke to you, I'm so happy that it is the mom that is coming back. My son is 37 years old, but you never cease to be a mom. And today I'm keeping all my roles aside of whatever it is and talking to you all just as a mom. So
Right.
let me introduce you to as a mom of a 37-year-old kid. My name is Masarrat Tavawalla. I live in Pune, Maharashtra. I have a very grown-up kid. I'm sure Shikha has interviewed moms across genres,
Yes.
across the age, but I don't know whether she's interviewed a mom with a 37-year-old
No, no,
son.
we have Therese here. She's 67 or 66 years
Oh,
old.
great,
We
Therese.
have Lucy, who's 75 years old. And hi, Melanie. Thanks for coming in. So we have all kinds of mothers. So age and Therese is heading a group called Ageless Beauty. So we have somebody who's watching us right now with the concept of ageless beauty. So absolutely all good.
I joined that group
Oh, you must,
of
you must.
ageless beauties because then we'll have so much to share.
Oh yes,
So
yes.
this is how my journey began at the age of a very young age. I became a mom at the age of 19. I was pregnant at the age of 19 and I delivered my son at the age of 20. So I was a very young mom.
Yeah.
But it's a pleasure to be called a mom, as I told you. So many facets today I would give back to my motherhood because that's where you find your calling. You start as a daughter, you start as a wife, and then you come as a mom. Your identity gets lost in between. And for the entire life, you will be said, you are a mom. And I think that's a beautiful tag.
Yeah.
So apart from all the designations, the most valuable tag, and Shika, I'm thankful for you and your team for coming up with most novel concept about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, I know that you've introduced yourself in a very humble way, and I've heard so many things about you. But you're also a mom to many many kids. Let's talk about you being mom to so many kids with special needs, so many kids. I've heard so many stories that I want the world to know through you because you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful, and that's why I kept it for this interview so that I also hear it from you for the first time. So this is going to be exploring for the first time your beautiful work of what's happening and how you embrace these children and how you've been working with them. And let's talk about that before we even go ahead.
Okay. So I started my journey, as I told you. I came from a Daudi Bora family. I was born, brought up, settled in Mumbai. At that time, I'm talking about 39 years back. People got their children married very early. So I was also one of them. I came from a convent school. My mother was I come from a very humble middle class family, but very strong roots. Though my mother was only fifth standard pass, I owe this entire education mom journey to her.
Right.
Simple in a ways, but she took us a long way. I would attach that tag to her. So we got a proposal at 16, I got engaged, 18, I got married, 19, I was pregnant, 20th, my child was born. But the best thing that happened to me, I mean, God's grace, that I continued my education with a lot of hardship. It was not financial hardship, but it was the challenges. Just imagine, I was from a convent school. I went to St. Xavier's College in the 11th and 12th. You know what St. Xavier's is all about in Mumbai. It's got the hep tag, it's got everything. It's supposed to be the best world where celebrities come, you want to hang out. And there I was at the 18 married, and people used to snub me. And, like the crowd out there is quite different. They would say, oh, how could you get married? And, there are extremists out there, and there are people who have joined movements. You know what it is, St. Xavier's, corridors, kattas, and you were not looked upon because you were married at a very young age. And then to top it all, you went pregnant to college. So that was the death nail. So there were a lot of times when, you were ridiculed, but there was something, the spirit in me kept on going. I said, at 19, 39 years back, I'm sure I did not have any these kind of webinars, no self-image, no self-esteem. It was intrinsic motivation, and it was my mom and my spouse, my husband, Shabir, who said, we will study. My in-laws who said, go and study. Whatever you want, do it. So that's how I started my journey.
That long back in India, that was a beautiful family to support you to do that. Just very, very blessed you are to be in that family for sure.
My father-in-law was a real stalwart, and he pushed me into studying. So there I got my first degree. My son was 2 years old. I was getting my first graduate degree. I continued my study in Xavier's. I did my MA. I got my postgraduate degree. That's the time when he went to the kindergarten, and I was studying with him. Sometimes I used to study in the washroom light because he needed the sleep. Sometimes I studied at different hours. I studied in college. I studied everywhere. But the spirit kept on going, and I finished my post-graduation. And later on, I shifted to Pune for my husband's reason. We started our business out here in Mumbai and also in Pune. So we had to shift. Now that was the entire game changer for me, because I was just about 26, 27 there, freshly out of college with all the world of things in your hands, dreams to fly, everything. And my son had to enter his first year of formal schooling. That's the first year. And I came somewhere in May and I couldn't get admission. I have knocked on all the doors. They felt it was not right. At that time, admission was a real task in Pune. You had few schools, not like what it is now. So we knocked on many schools' doors. Finally, I got it somewhere in August. And then I joined back again to study. And I did my second MA. But that time I did it from SNDT. And I used to travel weekends to Mumbai every weekend to attend the contact classes with my little one, 7.5, 8 years old, tag him in the train. Both of us used to have a lovely time. We used to go through the train journey. We used to chit chat. A lot of things were done. Come back on a Sunday night and get back to school, get him back to school. So those were the most beautiful days. I don't remember being so unhappy to travel or whatever it is. For me, I'm a very positive person. So even when I'm down the hill, I will look at that little pathway which I can get, and that makes me more than happy. And that's how I move forward, because from 16 years I've seen that. So there was no other way but to find those little dots and patches to move forward. There was never an ideal situation. And here I want to pass on a very powerful message to all the moms. When I was 16 and 18, I may had the financially stability, but certain things do not come with money, does not come with finance. It is you and yourself, the way you are, the way you look at the world, the way you take challenges. Challenges can be blown out of proportion, or challenges can be just made as a stepping stone for your success. I have passed through that for 5 years in St. Xavier's. So at a very young age, you build resilience, and that's how I built resilience. So that's how it started. And I shifted to Pune, settled Josefa into Bishop's School in Pune. And then I realized that I have nothing much to do. So I used to, at that time, I used to stay in a rented house. I'd still not bought my house. Like I say, money could not get you everything, though I had the stability. Finally, we picked up a house, and opposite my house, I used to stay in Camp Lal Deval, and there was a small nursery going on in somebody's house. And I used to see the kids every morning doing little things, running around. And I said, I wish I could just go and spend 1 hour or 2 hours. So desperate I was. I used to watch them, and I used to go across the road, just take a walk out there to see what they are doing. And one day I plucked up the courage to knock at the door of the person who used to run this. They opened the door, and I asked, can I come in? They did not allow me because I was complete stranger. I still remember the day. And I said, look, I would like to work with kids. If you have anything, I would be very happy. No phones, no cells, no landline. So that's what I said.
Very long time
I'll come
back.
back. Yeah, it's a very long time back. I said, I'll come back to you. So every 2, 3 days, I kept on visiting them. I did not get a very positive reply. So far, so good. But I mean, I had nothing at present to hold on to. I applied in Bishop School as a substitute teacher because Josefa was there. And luckily, they said whenever somebody fractures their hand or gets pregnant or meets with an accident, you will be the one who will be called. I was more than happy. At least I have that ray of hope. And that's the first time I was called when somebody met with an accident. For those 2 months, I was elated. I went with Josefa. I came back with Josefa. We had lunches together. I did not know how was the school culture because I was always been a student, but I learned in those 2 months what is staff room politics, what is culture, how people look at you. I'm not a part of them. I'm just a substitute. How much respect you get, how much people take you for granted. People write you off because you're not still a part of that stuff. So again, life lessons were learned for those 2 months. And of course, I kept on going and back. Finally, one fine day, when I knocked at the door opposite, I'll tell you who are they then. And they said, okay, we have a school run by the Aga Khan Education Board, and we are one of the members of it. We will call you for an interview. And that was, again, that gave me a lot of joy. You can imagine at those time when there is nothing to hold on, you will get joy in anything and everything. And I felt that was good enough for me to carry on. Again, one fine day, they sent a driver with a note. They had a driver. They sent a note that you are called for an interview at so and so time, and please be there. And that was the turning point. If you want to ask me anything before I go on to my journey, you can definitely add here, whatever it is.
I don't know, ask like the comments are saying it all. Here, Debbie is here as well. She's one of our pillars, and Debbie is here. Therese is mentioning. My God, Melanie is here. She's a parent and family expert, and Francis is a teacher as well. So all of them are here already. Just you, I'm nothing to add or ask because I'm just awe of the courage that you have of keep like you're talking about 37 years back?
Yeah,
In this country?
more than 89 I shifted, so you can calculate.
You're talking of, so you're talking, I was 7 years old that time. Yeah, you're talking about the times when, there were no telephones and there were no communications thing, and education was still coming up. For you to have this determination to follow your heart, to know the string, that's my next string, I need to just follow this string. It says so much about you, and I no wonder where you are today, what you're doing with your work, what's happening. You were meant to be here because this whole thread was just pulling you, and you believed in it, and you actually followed it at the time when this country of ours was not so modern. In fact, I started at the age of 18 as well as a photographer, but for me it was not so difficult. As difficult it was for you and your times, because this was almost 20 years before me. And even at my time when I started at 18, I found it was an odd thing to be a photographer, because in India there were no women photographers. And at 18, somebody saying I want to be a educated Indian photographer as a profession, I coming from a business class family, was unheard of, because they were like, what is she going to do? Where is she going to earn? What are you doing? And why does she want to do this international course that is coming? That's crazy. So that itself was like, I used to find it tough. What you just told me, with the baby, with being pregnant, with the social, stuff that
Stigma, more like a stigma at that time.
stigma. It would be a stigma even today. I think if anybody reaches college, it wouldn't go away. Even it happened today to any girl at the age of 18 or 19. So unbelievable. I'm like totally speechless. So definitely honor you and celebrate the fact that
Thank
you
you.
are such an amazing person, and I am waiting for things to unfold, because I know this is just the tip of what I know about you now. I've heard so many great things, and I would urge the audience to stay here to hear what she does, because she's a jewel. She's a real jewel. She's amazing, and her work is absolutely stunning. And I'm totally honored to have you in the book. So let's go
Thank
ahead and hear your journey about, oh wow, from there to becoming today the CEO of a group of institute that has been imparting education in special needs and other ways. Amazing. I'm totally speechless. And thank you for following your thread and reaching here, because you have, by following your own thread, you have made difference in so many people's lives. And that's what the whole thing is. It's not always about me and my little circle, and sometimes we stop ourselves from not moving out from that circle because of trying to please everybody around us, because just we just feel that everything around us is going to be happy, it's good enough. But sometimes you're made for bigger things, and if we just come through that and keep following that string, where you are today is where you reach. So I'm my heart is so filled with so much honor for you. And and you told me when you spoke to me that I want to meet you, but today I want to tell you that I will come and meet you where you
thank
are,
you
because
so
in the
much.
real
My
city.
pleasure.
And I want to come and meet you and give you a tight hug for following your string. It's absolutely beautiful. So let's just go ahead and uh, talk more.
So, so I'll start from where I left.
Yes.
Yes, I got that call. I went for the interview to the Aga Khan Education Board. And there I met with 12 people who had that roundtable conference. And I was zapped because I'd never given an interview before. I didn't know what I'm in for. I was like in my, that time they used to wear the shalwar and the kurti and the short without the patta. They were very prim and proper. And I was like no makeup. I had my glasses on and I didn't know what to expect because I thought I was going for a chit chat. Suddenly I'm into a room where people are, I think 20, 25 years older to me, be spectacle, have their notes, have a pen. I was just carrying a pen. I didn't even think that I should carry a pocket diary. I mean, then I realized, oh shit, this is the kind of interview I'm going to go in for. I am sure I'm deemed to, I am not going to get through it. Anyway, they started, they asked me the questions here, there. They talked about everything under the sun except what they want me to do. And I was like, when is it coming? When is it coming? Am I going to teach the kindergarten? Am I going to teach the first standard? What is it? It was like a mystery. All 12 people were shooting questions here and there, asking about your education, asking about your family life, asking some questions, what you like to eat, and you've never been to interviews and all that. So anyway, we followed, we chatted, we came back. See, you know what Xavier's and the convent school had taught me is to keep on going. That kind of spirit that you learn from Xavier's when you took part in those festivals of Malhar and talking in the canteen and the katta, you picked up a lot of conversations. You picked up how to deal with them. Maybe you may be very young. You had those teachers who were way above the level of the world at that time. I still remember my anthropology father Massey and all my convent nuns from my school. They had something about them. They had the aura, and that's what we picked up over a period of 17 years. When you did your schooling and college, you consciously unconsciously imbibed a lot of it. You know what to read. You read this, you read that. Maybe you were not all over the place, but you were in that right zone at the right time, as a kid, as a teenager, as an adolescent. And I think that interview was a game changer for me. Whatever I did in school and college, I could just talk about it confidently, flawlessly. English was the most important they wanted, because you were looking out for a teacher. So I think it clicked, but I didn't know what was in their mind. I left with a sad heart, thinking I was not offered anything, because they said, thank you, I may come back to you. And I was wondering what it was. And the substitution in Bishop School came to an end. So, the teacher came back, and I was back to square one without anything to do at that point of time. So I opened a small creative class, and I took children in the neighborhood, and I started something to bank on. And my weekends were going to study was still going on. One fine day, I get a note again that we want you. There is a small annual gathering at our hall, our religious hall, and you are invited for it. I said, now this time I need to dress up properly. I need to be a little more careful. I need to go. I went there. I saw the annual concert. Well done. For those times, an annual concert in a small hall was a great thing. Happy to be. I met those 12 people again. They were like, upper stiff lip. When you call them, they met. I met a lot of people from the Aga Khan Education Board. Happy just meeting them. Came back. Meeting also was a great thing at that time, because I'm going back to the times which are not like this today. And I was again clueless what is happening. Finally, again, after a week, I got a call, and they said, we would like to appoint you as a principal of our kindergarten school. And that was something that I was zapped. I mean, I'd never thought about a principal. I had only thought about being a teacher, to be with the kids. So my first being a mom to the kids started from Bishops. After Joseph, I was mom to the kids in Bishops. And there also I was instantly, there's a connect, because you love your profession, you follow your thread, you're passionate about it. And suddenly I get this, I'm not cut out for it. But then I kept on saying to myself, they must have seen something in me. They must have, looked at it in a different way. They know education better than me. So let me just go for it. I asked people, I asked my parents, I asked my in-laws, because first time I was stepping out of the house, out of 365 days, definitely 300 days I'm going to be. I had to leave by 8:45. I had to adjust the rickshaw wala's timing of Joseph's. My husband was very, very supportive. I think today where I've reached, they say behind every man there is a woman. I would put it the other way around. Behind every woman there has to be somebody. It could be your son, it could be your spouse. For me, silently he supported my endeavors. He's not a person who's all over the place. He's not the one who talks about it, but just being there, not cribbing about it, not cribbing about the breakfast that's coming late, or not cribbing about the clothes not being ironed. You need somebody like that. If you do not have, you'll be doing multitasking and stretching like a rubber band. And when you stretch like a rubber band, you and I both know, we are all moms here, you know what it is like. So that rock solid support, to have a person who's calm, quiet, who will go away without a breakfast, but who will not crib, is very, very important. So I want to pass a very strong message to all the spouses. You need to be that if you want your spouses to move, or your moms to move, or your children's moms to move. And this 21st century, you have to give a place to each mom. You may not be a CEO, you may not be a photographer like you and me, but you need that identity for yourself. You need your kids to fall back on you. Okay, my mom is that little something in her own way. It could be a speck, or it could be you are CEO of a globe. That doesn't matter to a kid today. But the kid wants to see the mom in the best identity. She may do a cooking class and he's happy about it. You may not do anything, but you may have your self-respect. You may stand up for your right. The kid along the way is getting a very strong message that this is my mom who's strong, who's resilient, who will build, who will stand by me. And I think that's the message we kept on passing as both husband and wife, or me alone, that the challenges I'm going through, I'm studying in Bombay, I'm going for interviews. We were from a joint family, we became a nuclear family. So that was the change which we had to go through. And again, then my in-laws came and stayed back with me. So I think along the line, your kid is seeing all that. And you as a mom need to just live your life up properly, I would say ethically, morally right. Most important, ethically, morally right, you will see a most beautiful kid coming up in life. And I don't think that's a better way to bring up a kid. You may send him to the best of schools, best of classes, best of everything, but you will have to be a living example for your kids.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. And uh, I think I totally agree with all these things. I definitely am sitting here. My little one has been taken care with Rohit, my husband, and he, pushes his meetings because these lives are going on, and there's a lot of support, and there's always a yes, because what I'm doing here is total insanity for many, many people. These 100 moms sitting in front of, what is she talking about? She's so talented. She could have earned so much money. What is she sitting doing here, bringing this whole thing together? There are a lot of questions. Will she be able to do it? Will she be able to do it without the sponsors? She keeps announcing, "Oh, this much money will go to charity." But when I go back to him, and all he has is this smile, and he's like, "What's next? And what's next?" And that support really uplifts you and makes you. And what you talked about, the stretching like rubber band doesn't happen. And also about the living example, not only to say that we do something in our life, but when a mother says that she matters to herself, her dream matters, her showing up matters in any way, for whatever she is, her children, like I was researching with a mom, and then she said, I have daughters. What you are saying, I must do, because I have daughters and I need to raise them with this whole self image, etc. So I said, you know what, I have sons, and my sons need to grow up and know that their women in their life need this. I am a mother of two sons, and these two sons need to know that the mother matters, the wife matters, even if she's occupied raising children, doing things. Their sisters who are mothers, their friends who will become mothers, they will matter. And I need to be that example to show them that we matter. We keep putting ourselves down. And one of the mothers said, and I really admire her, and I always asked her, how do you do so much? Like, how do you do so much? And she told me that I put myself somewhere on the list. That's why, not on the top, but I put myself somewhere on the list. When every day when the tick mark happens for the children and my husband, there's a tick mark for me as well, that she also
Beautiful.
did what she wanted to do, or meant to do, or supposed to do. Because by the time that checklist goes down of the day, for most mothers, her time is not there and the new checklist is ready, so she skips her tick mark and then she goes to the next checklist because she has other things to checklist, and then she starts checking, doing the checklist there. So those boxes, those empty boxes of the things that we've not ticked up, are the boxes that bother us, are the boxes that take us down. And that's the bother box which is not ticked, tells our children that it's okay if it's not ticked. If it's okay if that box is not ticked and she has not done the things that wants to do, or meant to do, or so supposed to do, because she skipped it and gave us. So we raise them with that, and that's why this the pulse that I'm talking about of the mother keeps getting sad and weak, and sometimes it
So
becomes
true.
very painful. So our children need to know that she is also one of the boxes to be ticked every day. And that's what also in this movement I'm trying to get, that you don't have to be the first box. I'm not saying ignore everything, but you definitely need to be one of the boxes. So make sure that that box is ticked every day. If your self love is done, your self work is done, your dream has been thought about, and involve our children and family with it. Give them a chance. Like, give them a chance to know you, rather than just sitting there and not ticking that box. So I totally agree with what you're saying. And moving forward, that this journey absolutely stunning. And I that's what I'm saying. You were shown this whole path, but what your duty was to listen to that clue and follow it up. Our duty is, like, all of us are given this magical thing happening all around us, and these clues are thrown, and most of the time we don't trust it,
Yeah.
or we don't go for it, or we don't have the courage to take it. The idea is to pick it up, trust it, and keep moving
And take it
forward,
to the next
and see
level.
where you reach. Like, from what you expected, you got so much more, because that thread was for you. And if you would have not picked up, if you would have let the comments, the judgment, the situations around you take you down, forget what you as a human being have reached here, as a mother has reached here, as a woman who reached here. But so many kids that you've supported would have not reached where they have if you would have not taken your bit of courage to do it. So sometimes these courage, like if I don't do this today because I know I'm meant to, I don't know what 20 years from now I will be looking back and saying that if I would have not done this thing sitting here with raising two young kids in COVID and finding this thing that this is crazy 100 days, 100 moms, after 20 years, I will know that this was the right thread to take and to go forward. So thank you for taking and believing into the clues that were thrown to you. So now you're a CEO of this group of institutes, and you also have special needs children. How are you managing them in COVID? How did that story? How did you reach from being a principal to that? Let's talk about that.
So that's the next phase of my life. I finished my studying and now I was the principal of a very small kindergarten, which is run by the Aga Khan Education Board. 6 years went off, and believe me, the pay was 550 rupees for a principal. Happy to see that first check of life, because that's the first time 550 rupees mattered. It was like, for me, it was lakhs of rupees.
Yeah.
My pay when I finished 6 years was 1200 last pay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm talking about comparative times now and then, but still, you know what 1200 would have been at that point of time. Those 6 years made friends, connected with the world, started looking at what the outside world is like, because Aga Khan Education Board is a big board. I had never been a part of anything really big. Understood from my mentors what it was like, how it bloomed, what kind of culture that you need. And of course, the person who put me were the Sundarji sisters. So the name Sundarji is from them. So they became my godmothers. The one who got me into the Aga Khan Education Board was the door I knocked every time. For that 6 months, I knocked at the door at least 12 to 13 times. And the lady out there, Malik Sundarji, was seeing my resilience, my patience. She was a woman way above her times, way above it. And she was actually testing me, and I did not know that. So she's the one who got me into it. And then there was no looking back. Shikha, I owe my this journey to the three Sundarji sisters. And on every platform, today they are 85 plus, but I value them so much, because if they were not there, I wouldn't have been in this journey. I may have that thread, bright spark, passion, everything, but you need one person to hold you, pull you up and say, okay, I'm willing to trust you. I'm willing to do this, because no experience, no trust. But that person was testing me, and I didn't know, because when she would open the door, there would be a placid face. There are no smiles. There is no excitement like what you and I show. There is no bond. There is no connecting. There is nothing. It's just, you are here, I am here. I need to ask you 2 questions. You need to do. That's how it was.
The institute are now named behind the
Sundarji sisters.
I just letting Terry is here. Hi Terry. Wilma is here. Hello Wilma. So
hi Teddy, Wilma, hi all of you all.
Yeah, Mel, they're just beautiful. Like this is beautiful community of moms who are supporting you so much here, and just letting the audience know that the institute is named after Sundarji Institute that she's the CEO of now. Is
from my 3 mentors. The Sundarji sisters are the 3 sisters. Let me just put it across like that: Jena Sundarji, Malik Sundarji, Zarina Sundarji. With them, I opened up all our Sundarji's Global Academia and Sundarji's group of institute.
Lovely.
From the Aga Khan Education Board, after 6 years, we 3 sisters and myself got together and we started the Sundarji's institution. At that time, it was known as Sundarji's institution. Now it is Sundarji's Global Academia. After so many years, we've expanded. We've become a private limited company. We've become international, and hence the name has changed approximately. So I'll take it up from them. I'm quickly going to do this. I know we'll run short of time if we go on and on. This will take another 3 for us.
Oh yes, I can see your story. You can take 3 or 4 hours. We must do it because
Concise it.
yeah, because there'll be a lot of people who see replays, and you know what happens in today's time when they see I can talk to you. I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
I can
No,
listen.
no, but I
If
can
they see a
understand.
replay of 2 hours, they're like, ah.
They don't want to do it.
So
Yeah.
I want people to know you more. I want people to listen to this. So whatever we can introduce them, we should not.
Quickly.
No, nobody should miss this interview for sure. Just based on that, oh, I don't have 2 hours. So I wanted to wrap up in another 15 minutes max.
I'm going to
Uh,
go fast.
uh,
Yeah.
we don't have to go fast. This Masaji, this is a beginning and an opening of a very big landscape. There will be ample opportunities to talk about it, but we must talk about your biggest contribution to the special children and special needs that you're doing, because those are the stories that I don't want this audience to go off to sleep because it's late in the night for them to know before they leave, to know your work around that. So let's talk about that.
Perfect.
For
So
sure.
we started our first institute in 1996, which was a kindergarten with just 11 children and the four of us. We sold off everything to buy the place that we are now, and we didn't know next month what we will do. Then we started this. It all happened organically. We thought about it, but we didn't pursue it. Like you said, opportunities came. We picked up those opportunities. Every opportunity is picked up. Some failed, some progress. So after 1996, we felt we needed to open a teachers training institute. There we off on a helicopter ride, opening a teachers training institute in 2001. We felt a lot of children. That was a turning point for our special needs. From 1996 till 2002, a lot of special babies started coming to us, 3 years old, 4 years old, no education, not knowing what is special need. We couldn't deal with them. We took them into the kindergarten for, but we did not know how to deal with them. So there goes, the staff got ourselves trained. We did a lot of teachers training courses. We went across India. We took from British Council books. That time, the concept of webinars and Zoom and nothing was there. We got ourselves self-trained and trained in this from say 2002 to 2005. We were on a training mode. And there goes a third institute in 2005. That is our special need early intervention center for children with special needs. There we started taking children after school hours. Premises were there. So we got from 2 kids, suddenly we were to 40 kids to 45 kids in a year doing for special needs coming after school hours. Now these kids had nowhere to go after early intervention. No school was trying to absorb them in 2006. Court orders, parents would fight, everything went down the drain. And that's how the idea of a special school came across, that we need a special school. Where would these kids go? There was a lot of between things that happened, which you can read it on our website. So in 2007, we opened our doors to special school. We did not have the premises. So we used to do kindergarten in the morning, afternoon special school, and early intervention center, one room devoted to it. So everything was going on, and teachers training was also going off. In that 3,000 square feet, we fitted everything and we slogged it out. From 8:45, 8:30 in the morning till 7:30, we were there. We were sweeping, we were organizing. We did not know how to use computers, challenges galore, physically going everywhere. But we were a band of those warriors, educational warriors who wanted to make our journey successful. There were obstacles, stepping back, setbacks, all it was a part and parcel for it. But we had 4 institutes in the kitty and children were coming in, and people started believing in us more than we believed in ourselves. And we kept the torch going. And there were, of course, I can keep on. The journey was never so simple. But 2007 special school was there, and there was no shutting down. I faced a lot of opposition and all. My normal kids, mainstream kids, did not want to come to school. I lost 10, 15 admissions in the bargain, but I was there that special children will be a part of my school. In the kindergarten, it will be an inclusive. Then they will be going to the special school. Some will go to the early intervention center. My teachers training course, which is 1 year recognized by the government, I saw to it that they had a paper in special education, fought with the government to have a paper in special education. And then in very recently, opened the doors to a CBSE school, totally inclusive. So in 250 children, I have 40 children of special needs in an inclusive CBSE school. First CBSE school in Pune to have an early intervention center, OT, speech as a part of the school. So today I can say, if I have to summarize, that special children have become a part of my life. I practice inclusion in the garden, at theaters, I advocate for inclusion. I do everything. I have a Rotary Club for my special children, an Interact Club, and I have touched hearts of so many special children. And you can say it's like a bouquet of flowers. You name the syndrome, you name the disability, you name the neurodiversity, and they are with me. Whether it's LD, cerebral palsy, corneal Lange, or Tourette syndrome, or you can say autism. Now, of course, my focus is more on autism, because to tell the world, autism is very high. We partner with a lot of hospitals, KM, Dinanath Mangeshkar, to absorb children from there to our centers. Today, we have 3 early intervention centers at Shankar Shet Road, at Fatima Nagar, at Wagoli, 1 special school, 2 special ed course running, a whole lot of trainings running throughout the year for special children. And we practice inclusion right from our kindergarten to our teachers training college. They all are a part and pass. We have a vocational center, skill development center. We partner with industries for job employment. We give vocations to them. We partner with hotels to see that our children are absorbed. We partner with industrialists. We partner with Rotary clubs, NGOs, as and when we can. But my most important thing is to see a life for them, dignified life, employment for them, financial stability for them, and something that after their parents are not there, there's always a question mark. We are not living abroad where social security, everything will be there. How do the children take care? So now we are looking at assisted living solutions. So day in and day night, we look for those, every opportunity in every little stone, where can we make a difference? And that's what the team is doing. Today, we have more than 120 people with us, and all our mainstream teachers, very proud to say, are trained as special educators. Every bit of their training in special education, they know checklists, they know a diagnostic, they know how to use universal design of learning for special children in mainstream classrooms. We partner with the best schools of the world to learn. We are constantly learning. We've not said we are the end. We learn so much, Shikha, that I think if you look at our planner, you will see so many courses happening all the time. Our teachers have to, if you join Sundarji's Global Academia or Suyog Sundarji Group of Institute, you will be a lifelong learner. You cannot do without not learning. That's in short, at present, what is happening.
So can I just request my audience to actually send so much hearts to her here in the chat? And are we not speechless with having such a gorgeous mother with us? Unbelievable, unbelievable. I totally honor you for what you're doing. It's unbelievable spirit, and that's the whole thing. When you follow your gut, when you follow your clues and you reach, then this is the thing that we do. Frances, I know you would be giving so much heart to her. Frances is also a teacher, and she really understands what you're saying. And Melanie is also here. Just love the passion for working with special children and consistent learning to better yourself. These are my pillars as well. And I'm totally speechless because I know you're not stopping. I know you're not stopping.
I don't want to. Though I'm 57, I pray to God that can you give me another 10 years to work like this? Because now the world has opened up. I struggle so much, but I feel the people who are born now and who have the means, webinar, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, the world is much easier. Like technology, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual, what not you don't have today to make your struggle easier. Of course, you may have other struggles. So I pray every day, and I have so much to do. I have so much to do.
you're not leaving so soon from this planet.
No, but
I
I mean, just there's so much to do. I
yes.
mean, there's so much of excitement
And I
still at the
love that, and
institute.
I totally love that, and I am honestly very honored to have you in the book, because you're like, this book has called you because you need to inspire the world with your stories now. It's not limiting you here. This is a world book coming out, and through you, now many people across the world, I can guarantee you that this book is going to now take you to a platform, and because the mothers that we have are going to embrace this and going to take this forward globally for you. And I will do anything definitely to
Thanks.
promote it to the level that it needs recognition. And before we wrap up, any special story that you have, would you like to share, that's touched your heart during this process of getting so much inclusion into our country? Anything that's specifically you remember as a beautiful story before we wrap up? And then we'll talk about your dream and we can wrap up the interview.
So I want to tell you, not one, but I mean, I'll just summarize it. So many special stories into one. That when I'm bringing my special children back after COVID has been very tough for them, especially for my special children and my children at inclusion at various levels. So the first day when I got them back to my institute, I had people, children hugging me. I had parents touching my feet. I had, because even in online, we did it very differently. We saw to it that they came on Saturdays, just passed and saw the school, went back, just climbed the steps when we were not allowed. Also, like as if you're going to take a bazaar, we did a lot of things, Shika. We saw to it if that kid is going out even once a week for sunlight or something, it would be at our path, our school path. And we used to stand there, we would wave them, they would pass by the car and they would go back. So we've done those little things which we would be allowed by the government. And I could see the kid, looking at us and, looking at the back, like as if there were dogs, that, how a dog looks out of the window, my special kids would be longing to come back to school. Then they would climb up the steps and they would look at everything. This, especially for autistic, when that smile would come on their face, because communication is a problem, social interaction is a problem, they are non-verbal. Touching the walls is a problem. Touching my hand is a, you know was soothing to them. And then the parents told me, they touched the school walls, they touched your hand, they looked at you, the week went well, they were calm, they were peaceful, they got sleep in the night. So those were so many stories that came up during the COVID, and we realized what impact we could make in their lives. And that, got us on our feet faster than ever to see that what more we could get them back, what kind of therapies we could do online, offline. Can we do home visits? Can we show our face? Could there be a video calls? So we crossed limits and boundaries, and those stories are heart wrenching. I can give you of every kid. Suddenly, after 1 year, the kid had grown taller, handsome, had a mustache. He wanted us to feel him. He wanted us to look at him more properly. And how do I do that? That was what, made us change internally, externally, as a team. My team is fantastic. If the attrition rate is very less, that team stood by me, and we'll have so many stories which I can keep on and on. But
You must put it all together. Stories go a very long way, Masaji. I know it's a little extra work, but stories go such a long way, and it touches hearts in a way that nothing can. And I would urge you to, before these all get lost and they become a hazy stories or some vague stories, this is a very special thing that you're doing. You must film it, you must collect it and keep it as an example of what needs to be done so that we can spread it, because stories are not only for us, it's for generations to come. It becomes the guiding point, it becomes that history, and these 100 stories will also become that guiding point, that history, that starting point for the mothers when they see, yes, this is how mothers are showing up and this is what you're about to do. So bringing this into a book is a very big responsibility, and I urge you to do this because this is beautiful. Francis is saying, I want to duplicate what you are doing here in my area and around the world, because she does some beautiful work with children as well. She's a teacher.
I'll connect with Francis.
Yeah, you have to connect with all the mothers. You're the 57th mom, and we will put you in a group where you will get to know these mothers more and more. And I will urge all the mothers to reach out to you, and you can reach out to them. But this needs all the support that you can get, you will get from my book for sure. And I know we can go on and on. Francis, beautiful. Francis is.
Can I
Thank you,
take a
everybody.
picture
Of
of
course you
yours?
can.
You will have to send me because I'm very bad at all this. I have not been able, I have not even clicked a single picture. So I'm sure you all are doing all that. So please send me, I want to see your team. Can you put them onto?
We have okay. So now I must introduce my team, and I must introduce uh, that when you were talking about money doesn't buy everything, this is the example of money doesn't buy everything. So let me introduce you and anybody who's watching this, that this was a silly girl standing there, not a girl. I don't know why I see that, but I always think that my 18-year-old self
That's
was like
good.
this. And
It makes you feel younger day by
so
day.
I was sitting there announcing that I want to do this, and I started the whole process, 100 days, 100 interviews, blah, 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 and I'm going on, meeting mothers, talking to them, figuring it out, getting this whole thing. And somewhere, just when I started, Debbie was the first one. Debbie said, I need pillars under me because I need to take the front. But the back of all these mothers reaching the last point needs some support, and I would not be able to do finding the mothers, doing the mother interview, figuring it out, encouraging them through photography, teaching them photography. And so then Debbie was the first one who said, fine, I'm going to take on to be your first pillar. And then Debbie came in, and Debbie was absolutely beautiful, spreading it all out. Then I reached out to Melanie, then I reached out to Francis, then I reached out to Kavita and Kirtana. So these are my 5 pillars, and honestly, they are my pillars. I'm calling them the pillars of this movement because they are supporting irrespective of what their part is. So that's my team level 1. And yes, I will talk to you too. So so my son's school is to start. So there's a one level of pillars that I have who are working with me. Sorry, we can't get disturbed, baby. I can't talk. Rohit is sleeping for 2 minutes. I'm wrapping up. I think there's a tip going on online school, and he's waiting for me to start. And my second layer of pillars that have come in is the editing team. Sumitra and Elizabeth. Samantha had offered, but she has work and she's doing so well that we had to release her. So that's my second layer. I have a beautiful girl who's lost her father just a few months back at the age of 45. Her father was. She has 7 siblings. So she's coming in, supporting me, putting my lights, putting my stuff, putting my schedule, putting everything together. And all these mothers are the next level of team that I have.
Lovely.
All this is happening across the world. People are supporting it, and I have 5 cheerleaders, and they are men who are cheerleading this thing, who are constantly doing whatever they can to cheerlead this, to spread the message, to bring the people to do that. So, and you tell me what's my team? One, all these 57 mothers are my team right now because they are taking it ahead. The next level of team is my pillars who are talking to individual mothers. I will hand you over to one pillar as well, who are going to be talking to mothers, taking them, bringing their stories, making sure that they complete it. And then the editing team, who's like writing one story stuff, they are writing and rewriting 100 stories.
Wow. That's
and supporting it.
close to the team.
All with not even one person saying that will we be paid for it. They're all here because of the pulse of this. They're all here because of what
you are very, very fortunate.
Oh, I am totally blessed, and I know that this project is totally blessed with people like you coming in. I think my son is sitting right here next to me. He needs to start his class, and he's not going to do it till the time I do not leave.
Definitely. I think we need to wrap up.
So we need to wrap up. Before we wrap up, what's your dream? Let's quickly talk about your dream.
Dream is to open an autism ashram, help people for assisted living solution, And the dream with our government is to see that we have an inclusive society. A child walking on the road, adolescent in workplace, financially independent, not making millions, but enough to survive, and a decent life for himself. That's the dream I need to fulfill for all those adolescents, kids, adults sitting out there who need our help. I wish people would join the inclusive movement. I would want to start from the kindergarten to schools. Please, humble request, Shika, through your platform. Schools are not open for it. They do not want to do it. They are in their own cocoon, very happy making their own plans. But where are these 12 million children going to go in our country? Census of 2011 says 12 million. This is 21, so there'll be many more addition to it. We have about 20, about 12 to 13 kids in every class who are inclusive. Think about it, what it is going to be like if we do not have an inclusive society. We'll have more antisocial elements. We'll have children, adolescent on the wrong side of the law. Ours is a nation which will be in a little more chaos if these kids are not taken care of. So hoping for an inclusive world in a real sense.
Oh, absolutely. And I absolutely stand by you for that. And just to quickly tell you that, the story comes to me. DPS Gurgaon had started inclusive program with children. And I was a baby and a child photographer, and I was photographing, the kids there. And then I was called by the principal, and she said, "These are my very, very special." She used to love her children who were in the inclusive section, and she like, "We must take some special pictures of them and put them there in the sector in the exhibition. They must be included." And I said, fine. So I went in, and what happens is when you go to an inclusion school where everybody else is, there's a separate section. And this is a little thing that I noticed at the age of 20. I was 20, 21. And when I entered, the teacher said, okay, this child has this disability, so be careful. This child has this disability, so be careful. And because I was this 20-year-old girl with this camera, nobody heard what is she going to do, what does she know about it. So I stopped. I said, can you not introduce me to these kids with what disabilities they have? Can you just tell me their names? And I remember that I took the names and I started talking to them, and I started playing music, and I started, we were playing with candies, we were doing things, and we were laughing, and we were doing a lot of stuff, and I did that shoot. And then I had kids laughing away, they were laughing.
Beautiful connect.
Right? And I will share those pictures with you. And then I said, I went to the principal, and she was in tears, and she's like, nobody has seen my kids the way you are seeing them. How did you see this in them, and how did you bring it out? So I said, I just have one request. You're calling it an inclusion program. Do not have a separate section.
Never.
Mix them up with the same pictures with regular kids. And I can guarantee you, not a single person through these pictures, because nobody could tell that they had any kind of disability when I photographed them. Nobody could figure it out, and that happened. I told the principal that let's just mix them up, and I will take it up if anybody can point out that this one is a special child or this one, because all they were doing were hugging and laughing, right?
Yeah.
Nobody could figure out that happened. And I went ahead and shot Tamanna as well from the Chona Tamanna Special Needs Foundation as well. And didn't have a score there. So I worked with them and I photographed them because I never made them feel they were special. They were just one of us. And
you did inclusion in photography.
I did. I did at the age of 21. At the age of 21, I knew that what the word inclusion meant. And in my pictures, nobody knows that this child cannot see and this child cannot hear. All they could just see was smiles and hugs and etc. So I definitely know what you're talking about, and I hats off to you. I shall go to my mother duty now and move forward and start the day for my kids. It's been 3 hours for my older one since he's seen me, or for the younger one. So I'll step out and they'll be.
I think you need to attend. Yes.
I need to go ahead. Thank you, everybody. And
thank you, team. Francis, Debbie, if I've got the name right.
Debbie there, Francis is there, Debbie is there, Therese is there.
Please, thank you so much, all of you.
And Melanie is so cute. She's telling me, please stop your calling yourself silly Shikha Khanna. So she's this one person who knows that I have a lot of coaching happening with this process as well. Because
Right.
anytime I use a word that is that's not positive, my coaches here keep saying, "Don't say the word. I hope this happens. This is
It
happening."
will happen.
Don't, no, it is happening. They've changed my whole statement. It is
Okay,
happening.
it is
We've already
happening.
found 57 mothers. It's
It's
happening.
amazing.
And
57 mothers is a big, big
oh, we
achievement.
find all 100 and we'll find millions through this for sure.
Right.
Thank you so much. And I
My
will go
pleasure.
off live. Thank you, everybody. It was a beautiful chat. You must go and feel and reply to these chats because they are just beautiful mothers here supporting us. Thank you so much. We'll go off live. Don't go off the screen.
Yeah.